Hi, this is Jim Jordan with the Oregon Energy Healing Center, and today I have the privilege to speak with one of our members, Debbie Rubaum, who has started coming to see us about 4.5 months ago in August with her friend Dottie. And Debbie has an amazing story, a healing story that she would like to share with the members and other people out there, how the energy enhancement system has really begun to transform her life. So if I have this right, it sounds like Debbie, you had a Lyme disease diagnosis,
Hmm.
a lot of inflammation, migraine headaches, severe digestive disorders too,
Yes. Yeah.
which contributed to a tremendous weight loss and other symptoms that you can share with us as you proceed. So first of all, welcome to our discussion. And thank you for taking the time to share your story. I know it takes a lot of courage to speak about your health issues, but thank you for taking the time. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what led you to the energy enhancement system and how you found us and what your health is.
Well, it was really years ago. A friend of mine, and she's a naturopath, had told me to check out the EE system. And I kind of did. I looked into it a little bit. It seemed a little too woo woo for me. And then I had tried so many other modalities of healing, and they were great, but I wasn't successful. So I kind of got to where I didn't really put in the effort to go any farther. And that was many years ago. Then recently, this last year, my friend's husband got colon cancer, and she called me and got him in. And he had such success with his cancer and the shrinking. And they both called me and said, "You have to go in." They weren't even related to
Wow.
my original friend that told me to actually check out the EE system. So, and he's a dentist, and he was a non-believer, and he was so happy. And I just got a Christmas card from him, and he is looking so great. I'm so happy. So it was good. So I found out, from them, and then I started going with my friend, and my first experience was really interesting. I didn't really believe much in any of this. So I just kind of thought, how could this work? It had the machines all around, and you're sitting there in your recliner, and it's just cozy and comfortable. And I don't know, I just kind of went into this deep rest state I couldn't even describe within minutes.
Mhm.
And I really liked that. I mean, that was the first experience of that. And I thought, well, I don't know really what this is, but I gotta try it again. My friend said the same thing. And so I went again. And then the next time it was very similar, but this one was a little different. I started having my headaches come and go, which I had been diagnosed with cluster migraines. And so
Okay.
they were coming and going, but they weren't lasting but seconds. And it was just going back and forth, back and forth. And then a little, peaks of my joint pain was coming back and forth, back and forth. And I thought, well, okay, I don't know, but I'm feeling better. By the time I got done, it would be 2 hours was done. It seemed like I just walked in there, and I felt no pain. And I would leave literally for days feeling amazing. I mean,
Wow.
truly not even like myself. I mean, I
Right.
hadn't felt good since, I was in my 40s. And
Yeah.
I've struggled with everything. I've taken all the mercury out of my mouth. I've taken
Mm.
breast implants out.
Right.
I've detoxed. I've done everything, but never did I have anything quite like the E system that was quite as dramatic, because I really did feel something really occurring, not only on a physical level, but also emotional, because I was really so broken from my sickness, and I kind
Yeah.
of was giving up. I mean, I lost a lot of my teeth and everything, because also with Lyme disease,
Right.
you have a problem with your teeth, and I've always taken care of my teeth. And so I was just struggling with all this depression, and it was
Mhm.
just lifting off of me. And all of a sudden I felt like I had hope again. Now my energy didn't really come back like immediate. It took probably about, I think I got to about 16 hours in there, where all of a sudden I was like, wow, I cannot believe I want to go back to the gym. Before, I could barely crawl out of bed. I mean, I literally spent most of my time in bed.
Wow.
Prior to coming in, I was very sick. I would spend a couple days in bed vomiting. I'd be diarrhea. I was in so much pain, and my body would be freezing from my waist down. I
Oh.
ate for a while. All I could eat was baby food because I couldn't digest. Everything would come back out. It was just
How's
so,
your
and then I'd
digestion
have,
now? How's your digestion now?
oh, my digestion is amazing. The problem is I got to take it easy on it because I haven't eaten for so long. I've been finding myself wanting to eat. So my husband's excited because now we can go to dinner together and I can not watch him eat,
That's
and
great.
I can eat. And I'm eating,
Great.
chicken taquitos and stuff. So I'm eating some sugar cookies. I could not eat sugar. I'd get covered with hives. I
Wow.
mean, literally rashes all over from any sugar, and my throat would get sore, and then I had fungus in my toes, literally in all of them. And I've had Lyme disease for a long time, and I have taken the pills that they give you. I am so, and I have never found anything. I've gone to dermatologists. Nobody could help me with this fungus.
Yeah.
My toes are normal now. I just want to sit and stare at them. I'm
Wow.
so excited. They're grown in. They totally fell off.
Your
This is why
toenails.
going to the EE system.
Yeah.
And now I got beautiful toenails that I want to show off, and I have
Wow.
energy to go to the gym and work out. And I'm not tired. I'm not dragging. I don't have that depression. It's totally gone. I've got hope. It's just a renewed life. And this is no, what is the SIBO affair? People say, oh, you just believe that
Oh,
it's
placebo.
it's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't think
Yeah.
you understand. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
And it's
No.
not, because I will say when I first started going there, I did have all this energy. I didn't have rest, and I haven't slept for many years either. Oh, sleep was a big problem for me.
Wow.
I did melatonin, I've done sleeping pills, my adrenals were off. They told me I had no cortisol. All this stuff, I'm telling you, I really believe, and I want to go back and have my blood tested. But I really think now I need to stay at 2 days a week for now, because I started to feel so good. I thought I'm healed, and I haven't been there. Now, my friend assured me that, get 100 hours in. I promise you the real magic comes after 100 hours.
Yeah.
And now I'm like going, well, now I feel like it's worked already, but I kind of backed off and I was only going once a week. So a little bit of my joint pain is coming back.
Yeah.
My fatigue, none of that other stuff is back, but just the joint pain, none of the
Yeah.
rashes, none of the headaches, none of that. But I know that I have to, I need to, 2 days is the right
Yeah, you have to
week.
maintain that. You see your cells are getting more energy now, so you have to maintain that. So until you maintain that and can turn the cycle over and can regenerate on your own, coming in twice a week makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah, it's not. It's only been it's been 4.5 months, and you come about on average twice a week. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Well, I was going 3 for a while. Now, my asthma, I didn't even mention too, I had asthma, and I was going in for treatments, and I was having asthma attacks in there. And I know, I mean, I am very sensitive to scents and so on. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having an asthma attack. I got to get out of here. And because I didn't have my inhaler, because my asthma, I kind of leave everything in the car, and I'm like, and now I'm not having any of that. I mean, literally, I can be around fragrance and smells, and I'm
Yeah.
not having that sensitivity like I did. Now, I understand. My friend helped me a lot with understanding how this works, because she says it's going to get to the peak. It's like a pyramid. She said it's going to get all the underlying stuff, and then it will get to the peak of the stuff that you've really been dealing with,
Yeah.
the real aggressive stuff.
Yeah.
So let it flush and clean, and your cells, like you said, I don't really understand how it can make, I understand the frequency of the cell. You said it gets up to a higher state where the body can start healing itself, which makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But I can't explain all the other things.
Well, you've done this is an amazing. I don't think I've ever had one person that I've interviewed have so many different things going on with their health that have started to resolve just from. And the EE system has been the only intervening factor in the last 4.5 months that you can attribute
That's it.
to.
No pills, nothing. I've
Yeah.
been now I'm going off. I've been taking this charcoal and bamboo that I've
Yeah.
done. And
That's
when I
good.
started the EE system, I go, I'm not even going to do that, because they told me to do that with the Lyme, that baby
Yeah.
for the rest of my life. So I literally quit doing that when I was going to the EE system.
Well, the charcoal is a binder, so as your body releases toxins, they could recycle. So you do want some having a binder or doing a sauna or a salt bath.
I went back on it and I do the sauna. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
completely right. And I have that
yeah,
foot detoxer, which I love it if I can
yeah,
have the
exactly.
time to get in there. But yeah, I'm doing clients again. I quit. I wasn't working or anything through
What
that
kind of
time.
work? What kind of work do you do?
I'm a hairdresser and I'm around
You're
a
a
lot of
hairdresser.
chemicals. And I also like
You're
working with metals and resin and I do all these things
yeah,
with toxic things. And I haven't ridden my horse. I have horses. I used to ride all the time. I haven't had the energy to even put the saddle on. And now, I mean,
yeah,
I'm going to be riding my horses again. I mean, I'm 65 years old,
yeah. You look
and
great. That's amazing. This is an
yeah, I'm no
amazing
youngster,
story.
and I'm bringing friends, and they're having their stories. And I haven't had one person that has come and said this isn't for me, and I haven't seen results. Not one person.
Right.
And
Now, can you tell
it's
me a little bit about the emotional factors? You said there were some emotional changes that were taking place with you too. What was that like? Just more your peace of mind.
well, just I just am finding that I can't focus on any negativity. I just try to keep
Yeah,
my
yeah,
because I'll tell you what, I find that I've got so much joy and laughter back in my life where I didn't. There was a really dark time for me. I mean, I'll be honest. I was when you're in that much pain, and it'd been on in almost 10 years,
yeah,
and you just don't want to go on anymore. I mean, I was ready to go. I had just, and a lot of people with Lyme
yeah,
don't follow through because they say it's too painful. I don't want to do this anymore.
yeah,
And I couldn't do narcotics because I really, and my body's so sensitive, I would get sick. So I haven't been able to do anything but aspirin, which was giving me a lot of stomach issues.
yeah, yeah,
So, and that's another thing I didn't mention, but when I would come in, my stomach would blow up.
yeah.
So when she'd always ask at the end of the session, "No, you want anyone want to share their experience?" And I'm like, "I'm not saying anything because I got so full of gas. I mean,
Well, there
I'm
was
like, what? I look like
that
I'm
that's that
pregnant." And the old
that's
lady
die
with
off,
three.
Debbie. That's die off of pathogens in your gut. So what's happening is that so you do have
Oh, well, it was happening when I was in there.
yeah, you got to get the bowels to move. You should do baths, salt baths, or saunas to get the toxins out through your skin. Because a lot of what when you just tell me your background, your history as a hairdresser, you had a lot of exposure to chemicals, and those chemicals build up in your tissues, and those tissues then start to get infected. So the Lyme is probably actually a byproduct of the toxicity. So the
Ah,
deeper way to treat Lyme, I have a lot of colleagues in town here that work with Lyme is to detoxify. And the EE system is helping you detoxify, but you've got to continue to use your skin because your skin is your largest organ to get toxins out. So I would say getting sauna. Do you have a sauna in your home? Did you say you
I
did?
do. And I don't have the full one because I gave that to my sister, the wood one that you walk in, because it would give me a headache because I always,
Yeah,
because I struggle, my head's hot, my waist
yeah,
down, I'm freezing. So I had all this. So I got the other one where your head sticks out, and I
that's
love it.
fine. Yeah, stick with that, and do the baths, and keep doing the detoxing because you're totally on the right track. I mean, your story is amazing. I'm really, really happy to hear this.
Well, it even goes longer, and I don't want to just sit there and go on and on because I
No,
really
you
think
go
that.
on, go on.
Well, the story in itself, what I've learned, and I have done some dynamic neural reprogramming of the brain limbic
Yeah,
system, which I really believe in,
yeah,
is we don't when people go, "What's your condition?" So yeah, I was diagnosed with a lot of other conditions, but I don't give it a name. I call it a condition.
exactly.
I don't want, I have a condition. I have a condition. I can't do this, but it's okay. Try to be really positive and try to get through this without being just in despair because
Yeah,
I see for the healing process to happen, we have to push that program out because if we've been sick for a long time, the program is pain and suffering, and we can make
exactly.
ourselves to continue with that. And we have the ability, I believe, and that's why I love the EE system because it's helping. Because I believe my body is clearly doing it. I think our bodies are amazing,
Yeah,
and that we don't need all these drugs and we don't need all this other stuff. Now, I'm not saying I don't go to the doctor because I did. I mean, when I was going to the EE system, I did with the stomach issue. I was getting freaked out. I was like, "What's going on with
yeah,
my gut?" And I did find out I had parasites and really
exactly.
disgusting things. But I treated that and did that. But I knew that, along this journey with health, I find that a lot of people just get stuck. I have this, I have that, and I can't do this. And
Yeah.
You know, I think that really going in there and just saying, I'm going to do this and clear-minded. And that's one thing after the EE system. I have my brain has been in a fog for so long from the swelling and the
Yeah.
pain and the suffering that I've endured with those cluster migraines, which were horrible. Um, when I got done with the treatment, there's so much clarity. And I could have a conversation. My daughter would always say, "Oh, you're so shy. You never talk much when you're around people." It's because I couldn't articulate words to get out because it wasn't easy
Yeah.
because I struggled so much just with clarity and
Yeah.
just to get through and being in survival for so long.
Yeah.
But to tell one's story is really a sensitive thing, and I think that's why a lot of people don't want to tell their story because it brings it back and
Yeah,
gives life to
exactly.
it.
Exactly. I understand that. And that's why I really appreciate that you're willing to tell your story because the only way people really find out about the E system is through stories because the mainstream will not cover this. It's not covered by insurance, of course. So your story can inspire other people who've had, I don't even know what you'd call your condition, but I would say what it is. It sounds like you had an enormous amount of toxic exposure, and that affected your gut, your immune system, your respiratory system, your neurological system, and everything. And that the system is helping you detoxify and recalibrate your autonomic nervous system too. So it's just an amazing story. Do you have any words of advice to people out there who might see this video who are exploring the EE system or are curious about it? What would you say to those people?
I'd say you should go in and just have one session and you be the judge for yourself because
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can tell anyone is you go in, get your session and see what you think. And I haven't had anybody not have I mean, I can't share their stories because they're personal, but I'm telling you, everyone I've spoke with has
yeah,
had so much more healing even than I have that I.
yeah.
So I'm
That's
just
good.
grateful that you guys are in town. I was going to drive to Bend. I found out you were in town. I was so happy, and those people in Bend were also so nice. And
Yeah.
everyone I've talked to about the EE system and other places that they've gone has said the same thing. These people that are running the EE systems all around are so genuine and clearly care so much about the
Yeah.
healing of the people, and that is such a beautiful thing because I think a lot of people have lost hope in healthcare,
Yeah.
and to have that hope again. It's just that there's something and I'm not saying you shouldn't go to a doctor. I clearly think doctors have
Yeah.
a purpose, but I've had my doctors are so excited that I'm doing this and they're
Yeah.
like on board themselves and sharing that we need to do all these other things because even the doctors that I have told me they've lost hope in their own training.
That's a great point. I mean, the thing that people first need is hope. I've been in the healthcare field since 1997, and I got into it because my own health challenges too. I don't know if you know I was a lawyer before I got into healing. And most of us that get into things like the East system had our own journey through conventional medicine that didn't help us. And we had to go to whether it's herbs or homeopathy or natural medicine or energy medicine like this. And hope is the first thing. And people are told often by their doctors, if the doctors don't have an answer, that there's no hope. And the people think that the doctor's the authority. So if he has no hope, then I have no hope. But in reality, there is always hope because the body is a self-healing mechanism. It's a self-healing organism that it just needs certain things. It needs good energy, it needs nutrition, needs oxygen, and it needs hope. And if you have that, if you have the good energy coming in, your cells respond, your cells start to regenerate, detoxify. And then when these symptoms start to clear up, now you know there's hope. You don't have to have anybody tell you, you know for yourself. It's not just hope that you at your age now, you said you're 65, you can feel better at 65 than you did at 45 or 35. And I know that too. I'm 64 now, and I feel better at 64 than I did at 54. Or, it's there's no doubt about it. The body can heal and the consciousness too can
Yeah,
heal by just focusing on the positive.
yeah,
That was
exactly.
well, Debbie, I want to thank you so much
Mhm.
for taking the time to share your story. And for anybody out there who sees this who has questions, you can contact the Oregon Energy Healing Center. and myself or my partner Jewel will be happy to answer your questions. And Debbie, I look forward to seeing you in the near future in the healing room. And thank you very much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That was great.